I wanted to make a top that I can wear throughout the year, super easy to sew, easy to wear, and easy to draft the patterns for. I think this pattern is very versatile. You just need to make the peplum part longer, then you'll have a dress pattern. I'll put my body measurements in the description box below for reference, but it should work on many different sizes, up to 40-inch bust if you adjust the elastics. If you want to adjust the size of the pattern further, I have another video on how to adjust the pattern sizes. Before I started cutting out my fabric, I washed and dried my fabric in the same way I want to wash my finished garment. I added half-inch seam allowances around all the pieces. On the front bodice and the front band, mark the center so it's easier to match the curve when you sew them together. Serge or zigzag stitch to finish the edges where it's indicated in yellow here. First, put the front bodice and the back bodice together. Make sure to put the right sides of the fabric together. Then sew the side seams. Fold a sleeve piece with right side of the fabric inside and sew the underarm seams. I tried to sew pieces butted against each other so that I saved my thread. Also, you get a clean start on the next piece. Open up all the seam allowances and iron them. And I recommend sewing down the edges of some seam allowances so that it's easier to put the elastic through when you make the elastic casings. It's a little tedious, but you'll thank yourself later. You want to do this to the bottom of the side seams of the bodice, the band, and the peplum, and sleeve hems. Put the center front together first, then align the side seams and pin all the way around and sew with half-inch seam allowances. You might feel like you want to pin in a bunch of places before sewing, but I feel like aligning the two pieces as you sew is even easier than pinning, because you can use the needle and the presser foot of the machine as almost like your third hand. Just make sure to lower the needle and the presser foot down when you adjust the fabric. Align the edges of the fabric as you sew, just a couple inches ahead of the needle. Now the bodice and the band are sewn together. Now put peplum piece to the band piece. Serge or zigzag stitch these seam allowances together. Push the seam allowances up and sew them down to form the elastic casings. Make sure the casings are slightly wider than the elastic because the fabric needs some room to bunch up around the elastic. At the end of the round, leave about half an inch so that you can put the elastic through the hole. Fold twice and make a roll hem at the bottom of the peplum. Put the sleeves to the bodice. I always forget to do this, but at the neckline, you want to angle out the seam. Because if you don't, the seam allowances don't fold nicely. When you get to the point where it's half inch from the edge, angle out the seam toward the corner to give extra width to the seam allowances. I unpick the first seam at the edge. Now seam allowances lay nicely. Clip into the both sides of the seam allowances to release the tension. Sew down these pieces of seam allowances too because it's going to be inside the elastic casings. Fold half-inch seam allowances to the inside of the neckline to make the elastic casing. Do the same thing to the sleeve hems too. When you come to the top of the sleeves, you have to ease in the seam allowances a little bit. Fold the seam allowance couple inches from the needle, then distribute the extra fabric between the point and the needle. Stretch the bottom fabric slightly to distribute the fabric evenly. I cut my elastics 30 inches for the neckline, 30 inches for the underbust line, 30 inches for the waistline, 12 inches for the sleeve hems. For the underbust and the waist elastic, you can cut the elastic strips to your waist measurement plus 2 inches and adjust the length after trying the top on. After you tried the top on and made sure you like the fit of the top, sew the ends of the elastic together. Pull the ends of the elastic into the casing and sew the openings closed. This top was so easy and quick to make, and I'm glad I made the pattern so I can make it in every color and the dress versions too. I hope you give this project a try, and thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.